Hi, I'm Rosemary, an Adult Services Librarian here at Prescott Public Library. For this month's Crafts to Go kit, we'll be making some Scandinavian style gnomes, like these little friends here. So, if you picked up your kit already, all of your materials for this will be inside. But otherwise, these are pretty easy to find, easily sourced materials, not too expensive. So grab everything you need and let's get ready to start. To make the small gnome, we're going to be using the white yarn, and you're going to need a scissor for this. So the first step is to take that yarn and to cut maybe about 6 inches off of that, and you're going to set that to the side. And then with the rest of the yarn, you're going to hold it in the palm of your hand, just around your fingers, and then just keep wrapping all the way around those about 100 times. If you've got the kit from the library, it's the rest of your yarn that you have in there. So just keep going and we'll see you at the end. So I slipped it off of my fingers really carefully. It's in this kind of ball shape now. And I'm going to lay that perpendicular, so make sure those strings cross on top of that piece of yarn that I snipped off. And then I'm gonna tie that just really tightly, as tight as I can go there. Okay, and then come around to the other side and tie it off with a knot at the end, and just a regular square knot. Just pull it as tight as you can there. Okay. So from there, you're going to take your scissor again, and you're just going to cut all the ends. And you're starting to see it's taking a little bit of that pom-pom shape on. So just find all those loops all the way around and cut them up. And then once you have all those cut, we're going to trim this down into a nice ball shape. And you can kind of spread it around there, kind of fluff it up. And then I just like to go around and just trim all the bits down, start to just clean up the sphere shape. See, those are a bit longer. And then you kind of just flip it a few times and do the same thing. You might find some loops that you missed the first time, so you can cut those and just kind of keep fluffing it up and trimming it down. And whenever you get to the size that you like, that'll be your pom-pom. And so that is all up to you and how big you want this and how kind of fluffy you want it. So I'm gonna trim mine up a little bit here, and then we'll see you when I'm done. So now that I've got my pom-pom how I like it, I'm gonna work on the hat for my gnome. So that's why I've got this piece of felt here. And I'm just gonna kind of freehand just make a curved shape down at the bottom here and connect my two corners. And I can always trim this once I've used the hot glue to make it into a cone shape. And that's what I'm gonna do next. Okay, so the hot glue gun's ready, as you see here, and we'll start putting this together. Kind of like all of these crafts, it's really up to you to decide on the details. So we'll just go little by little, nice and slow here, and make sure we're going neat, which is difficult for me at times. To kind of just slow down, not burn yourself. reached the end of my fabric here. I'm gonna snip off this end, which is a little bit too long. Wait for it to kind of dry. There's some little bits. There's always little bits, huh? So I'm gonna try to just kind of peel those off, snip them off. And so I'm gonna tidy up and we'll see you at the end of this. So our next part here is going to be to attach the hat onto the pom-pom. And I'm gonna roll up the bottom first. And then do a bead of the hot glue around the perimeter of the hat here. There we go. You can be pretty generous with this, so it covers some good surface area once you put it on the pom-pom, since it's not really a flat surface. Okay. So I'm just gonna hold it there, and then we'll put on the bead nose here. And so, you know, this wooden bead has 2 holes on the side. So hold your fingers where those holes are, and you're gonna put a little bead of glue on the kind of just wooden surface there. And just find the spot, kind of, you want it to be like propping up a little bit where the hat goes, so you can unfold it. Just hold it there. So yeah, so when you fold the hat down, it just kind of barely covers the bead. So look like there's a little face under there. And you can kind of fluff it up. And then the last part is going to be to put the felt ball on the tip. So again, you'll hold this ball, put a bead on there, and then place that on the tip of your hat and kind of hold it, and you can kind of wipe it off too. But again, it's pretty hot, so you can wait a little bit to touch it, or, you know, blend dangerously. So the next item I'm making here is our lavender sachet that looks like a gnome. So I've got my felt that's I'm gonna use for the hat later. I've got my little felt ball that's gonna be the tip of the hat. Chose black and yellow because those are my grad school colors. Go Mizzou. And, but the first part is going to be with this flannel, the lavender, and the rubber band. And I'll just pour the lavender right in the middle there. And then you're going to tie a rubber band at the top. Make sure to knot it a few times, or wind it around, whatever you call that, until it's really tight at the top. And then we'll prepare a hat next. So I followed these steps from the first part of the video here, and I made my felt hat. And then I tightened this up pretty good. I'm not super happy with how secure it is though. I see this little gap here, so I'm gonna just pop in some hot glue there to seal that shut. And then I'll follow again the steps from the other video, and I'm going to fold over the bottom of this hat here. And I will apply some hot glue to the inside. I'm running out here, so I'm gonna need another stick. There we go. And apply that generously to the inside. You can trim this part, or you can just use it to kind of stuff the hat. So push that all the way down. And you can kind of mold your base at the same time. I will fold down the back side, and I'm gonna wait for this to dry. And while that is drying and the glue's hardening, we're gonna work on the beard. And so I've got the beige yarn, and I'm gonna do pieces that are about 8 to 9 inches long. And just kind of fold each end over and over. Okay, and then when you've got all of that folded over as evenly as you can, you will snip off the end. And so this is like about maybe 1 inch in diameter. Then you'll take another piece of the yarn and you're gonna wrap it in the center and pull it tight. And I would do like a double knot here. And then you'll bunch that up, find the ends, and cut them. And once all those ends are cut, we're going to bring back our bundle of lavender, put a good bead of hot glue there. So I'll slide that over. Now that those strings are all cut, we're gonna finish putting this together. So this is gonna be his beard. So find the backside where the seam on the felt is, flip it over. You're gonna put a good bead, be pretty generous here, on there. Flip that up. And then hold it down on there. And again, watch your fingers, because you'll probably touch some of the hot glue there. So be careful. Again, with the wooden bead, hold by the ends with the circle. Oops. And then put your glue on kind of the flatter, more solid part. Okay, bead there. If anybody has some great tips on how to not be so messy, I would love to hear about it, so definitely leave a comment or email me. Okay, so kind of want to see where this falls, where that fold is. Okay. So we'll put that little bead there. And then you can kind of fluff it up a little bit. Okay, one more time for the hot glue gun. We're gonna do the felt ball at the end. Okay, there's our little gnome friends. He's all put together, so unplug your glue gun, put all that stuff away, and then we'll tidy him up a little bit. All right, so he looks pretty good right now, but I wanna make his beard a little bit more lifelike by making it a little bit more like scraggly. So just in my fingers, I'm gonna untwist pieces of yarn. So you can kind of see the way that the yarn is twisted, and just flip the piece the opposite way. And then once you get the ends kind of spread apart, you can pull apart the whole string, or the strand. Just like that. And I wouldn't do it on every single piece, but you can work your way through and get a good amount of them. You can also take a comb and just kind of hold them firmly by the top and run your comb through, and it should do some of that work for you. And then once you have that how you like it, you're just gonna trim up his beard at the bottom, just to make it a little bit more shapely. And that's our little gnome.